And everyone is shocked to hear the third great sage's words, and they are saying, "How is that even possible?" And the other man says, "Yes, how strong are we compared to senior?" And the third great sage says to them, "Before I became a great emperor, I was invincible in my realm. I'll suppress my power to your level. I won't take advantage of your weakness." And one man says, "Senior will suppress her power to our level?" And the other man says, "In that case, there's a chance of winning." So the third great sage says, "If you hesitate, you'll fail." And Ningtian says, "But decisiveness doesn't mean victory." And then a man comes out of his aura and says, motivated by the senior third great sage's words, "I, Lu Kun, Peak of the Sky King Realm, wish to fight senior." So the third great sage is also coming out of her aura, and she is saying, "Then I'll suppress my power to the peak of the Sky King Realm at the age of 20, and fight you." And the third great sage moves forward to fight, and Ningtian is thinking, "System, she's not much older than me, but she's already at the peak of the Sky King Realm. Then, why am I only at the 4-star Earth King Realm?" And the system says to Ningtian, "Host, age doesn't mean a thing. Have you ever seen anyone who has crossed across 4 realms in just a few months, from 1-star Warrior Realm to 4-star Earth King Realm?" And just then a man is moving forward to attack the third great sage. But the third great sage dodges that man's attack very easily and quickly goes behind him and hits him, due to which blood starts coming out of that man's mouth. And the third great sage's attack is very dangerous, due to which that man flies away and falls, and gets knocked out. And seeing this, everyone gets shocked. And one man is saying, "She effortlessly killed a master of the same realm with one blow." Then the other man says, "Her being invincible within the realm was no exaggeration." And Ningtian, seeing the third great sage's power, is saying, "That Tao of the palm. I didn't expect the third great sage to have already reached mastery at the Sky King realm." Then the third great sage is asking people who is next, but we see that they are getting nervous. And then a man is saying in fear, "No, I can't do this, I will die." Then Ningtian comes forward and says, "Senior, I would like to fight." So on hearing Ningtian's words, the third great sage starts laughing and she is saying, "Nana nana. Boy, I've been waiting for this moment for a long time." And then the third great sage attacks Ningtian, and seeing her attack, a man is shouting, "What a strong palm strike! Senior in the Earth King realm is already so strong, can the patriarch handle this?" And Ningtian is also ready to fight with the third great sage, and he also starts using his powers, and he is saying, "Senior, although you're known to be invincible within the realm." Then the attacks of both of them start colliding with each other. And then Ningtian activates the sound-breaking art, and very easily he is able to stop the third great sage's attack. And seeing this, the third great sage gets very shocked, and she is saying, "Yaoqi's sound-breaking art also has a spiritual effect?" And as soon as the third great sage gets shocked, the system tells Ningtian, "You shocked the third great sage, and earned the ultimate killing sound array." Then the third great sage is telling Ningtian, "Interesting. For so long I have been able to kill each opponent with one strike. I didn't expect you would require a second strike." And Ningtian says, "The unexpected is yet to come. Ultimate killing sound array." Then the third great sage starts having a little problem with Ningtian's attack, because Ningtian's attack is a little more powerful, and she is thinking, "This is the martial arts skill I created at the Immortal Emperor realm. How did that boy learn it?" Then Ningtian does a spiritual attack on the third great sage, which directly hits the third great sage, due to which the third great sage starts feeling a lot of pain, and she starts screaming. And Ningtian laughingly says to the third great sage, "Hee hee, while you're down, I'll end you." And Ningtian reaches the third great sage and catches her, and he starts hitting on the third great sage's bum, due to which the third great sage starts getting very angry, and Ningtian is saying to the third great sage, "Little brat, I've wanted to beat you up for a long time. It's fun to play tricks on others, isn't it?" And seeing this action of Ningtian, Ningtian's friends become very happy, and they are also enjoying this thing. But then the third great sage starts getting very angry. Then she makes a dangerous attack on Ningtian, due to which Ningtian goes away and falls on the ground. And his condition becomes bad, and Ningtian's friend is asking whether he is okay or not. So Ningtian stands up and says, "Damn it, Don't you know you shouldn't hit someone in the face? I thought I was going to get disfigured. And after listening to Ningtian's words, the reaction of both of them is a little strange. Then the third great sage is saying to Ningtian, Boy, do you have some top quality on your face? I punched you with all my might, but your face is still fine? And Ningtian asked the System, does my title, the Shameless, have added defense of the face? So the System says, a little bit. Then Ningtian stands up and says, Oh, of course, you can be invincible only when you have a face. Senior, I won, didn't I? So the third great sage starts laughing, and those people get very surprised to hear the third great sage's laughter, because due to her laughter earthquakes start coming. And the third great sage starts flying Ningtian in the air with the help of her power, and while laughing the third great sage is saying, The third great sage's legacy finally has a successor. The third great sage's inheritance. After this the third great sage uses her power, due to which both of them come to each other's place. And seeing this place Ningtian is surprised and he says, Is this the great emperor's inheritance's space? And then the third great sage comes to Ningtian and says to him, You're clever. This is the sphere containing my inheritance, all my life's hard work. Whoever gets this inheritance would be a lucky one. And Ningtian says, So, the third great sage's inheritance can let me soar up in the skies? And the third great sage says, That depends on your luck. So Ningtian says, Can it allow me to directly reach the immortal emperor realm? But the third great sage refuses. Then Ningtian says to the third great sage, The celestial realm? But this time also the third great sage refuses. So Ningtian says, That won't do, it looks like something's not adding up. And the third great sage says to Ningtian, You brat. Who? Don't get mad at his attitude, adults shouldn't bother with kids' behavior. It's better to teach a man to fish than give him the fish itself. My inheritance is much more useful than an inheritance that gives you power. The reason why I'm called the third great sage is because I have reached the level of sage in the Tao of the palm, fist and music. And Ningtian says, Tao can turn one into a sage? Isn't the highest realm of the Tao the pinnacle? How can there be a sage? But the third great sage says, You're saying there is no way? Is there anyone who really thinks that the highest realm of the Tao is the pinnacle? Now, no more teasing. For those below the great emperor, the highest realm of the Tao is indeed the pinnacle. In the great emperor's realm, there is also the level of sage. And for the strong ones of the god realm, there's higher levels. And Ningtian is thinking, so that's how it is. When competing with opponents of the same realm, the comparison is not only through their aura, but also understanding of the Tao. The stronger your understanding is, the more likely you're to be invincible within the realm. And Ningtian says to the third great sage, Senior, once you reach the great emperor, can your understanding of the Tao reach the level of sage? And the third great sage says, Yes, inside are my master Tao of the fist and the palm, take this and see how much you can understand. Then Ningtian says too, What about your Tao of music? And the third great sage says, Ahem, I'm reluctant to admit this, but your Tao of music is remarkable. Then Ningtian says, I see, it's not much better than mine, no need for embarrassment. And after listening to Ningtian, the third great sage is thinking, that brat is truly horrible. And the third great sage says to Ningtian, I won't waste my time talking with you, little rascal, go learn properly. And she attacks Ningtian, but this is not an attack, this is some kind of power which goes inside Ningtian. Then he calms himself down, and starts flying in the air. And the third great sage is saying, looking at Ningtian, I wonder how far this kid can reach. The wind of the fist is roaring, the wind of the fist is whistling, and Ningtian is thinking, with such accomplishments, she's worthy the title of the third great sage. And the system tells Ningtian, it's detected that the host has absorbed the Tao of the first and palm, tenfold comprehension. Successful comprehension of the Tao of the fist. Understanding of the Tao of the first, proficient. Successful comprehension of the Tao of the palm. Understanding of the Tao of the palm, proficient. And Ningtian opens his eyes, and the third great sage is in front of him, and the third great sage is asking Ningtian, How is it? So Ningtian says, Thank you, Senior, I'm not qualified enough. And hearing this, the third great sage becomes happy and she says, "It's okay. It's not half an hour, the point is the feeling. With your talent, it's already considered very quick to understand within a few months." And Ningtian says, "It has only reached the level of proficiency." And he is thinking, "I thought I could reach the pinnacle in one go." Then the third great sage says, "Don't be too discouraged." "What? You've understood it? You're proficient? It took me 10 years, but it took you only half an hour." And the third great sage is thinking, from ancient times, no one has ever heard of a genius who can reach such a level of understanding in just half an hour. If this boy becomes a great emperor, he'll surely enter the god realm. Then the third great sage says to Ningtian, "Brat, don't tell anyone that you reached that level in half an hour, even if there's a strong great emperor backing you up. This world is not just composed of the 3 heavens and 9 spiritual domains, there are many other unnamed vast lands. There are even restricted regions that can kill strong emperors in seconds." And Ningtian gets surprised after hearing this and he says, "Is there another continent in this world?" And the third great sage says, "Boy, do you know what your godly physique is?" And Ningtian says, "This junior doesn't know much about it." And the third great sage says, "Throughout the ages, most cultivators relied on the comprehension of the basic heaven and earth laws to cultivate, like the wind, fire, thunder and lightning and more. The godly physique not only comprehends those basic laws far better than an ordinary person, but in later stages it also has the ability to master the advanced laws. The law of life. The law that controls life and death. It's rumored that someone with a godly physique can deprive a great emperor of their life. Do you understand now why I tell you to not tell anyone? If I don't get strong, I may be killed. You're worthy to be taught. This is a heavenly rank skill that I created myself, it's suitable for you to cultivate." But Ningtian says, "I already have a skill." And he's thinking, God's record is a god rank skill that matches my godly physique, I can't cultivate other skills with it. And the third great sage says, "What if I say it cultivates all 3,000 great das of the level of sage? All? New skill. If I'm not mistaken, you are practicing the 3,000 great Tao, right?" And Ningtian says, "Yes, but what does that have to do with senior skills?" And the third great sage is telling, "There is a saying, a tiger can devour 8 deer, but not each he can swallow completely. The more paths of Tao there are, the harder it's to move forward. In the future you could reach the pinnacle at best, and that will be hard to achieve." Then Ningtian says, "Senior has mastered the Tao of the fist, palm and music. All 3 of them have reached the level of sage. Is this because of the skills?" So the third great sage says, "Yes, as they say, Tao makes one mere, and this makes all things. Your physique is compatible with my skills. They will help you elevate your comprehension to the level of sage, or even higher. By then, as someone who has the level of sage of the 3,000 great Tao, if even stronger people appear, wouldn't that still shock the entire world?" And Ningtian is thinking, "It looks like it's more like a guiding secondary skill, and it won't be in conflict with my god's record." And the third great sage says to Ningtian, "Don't worry, I have no intention of harming you. I just don't wish for my skills to get lost in time. With your physique, practicing the 2 skills won't be hard. Boy, practice well. When you succeed, you'll naturally escape this state." And Ningtian says, "Senior, rest assured, I won't let these skills go to waste." And the system says to Ningtian, "The host has absorbed the comprehension of the third great sage's skills. 10-fold comprehension." There we see the saint, who is saying, "Why haven't they returned yet? Are they in some type of danger?" And the Grand Elder is saying, "Patriarch, please be safe, otherwise how can we face the Empress?" And the other boy is, "He's just a disciple of the Earth King realm, how will he come out alive?" In your dreams. But then some people start falling at that place from a portal. And the third great sage appears in front of those people. The saint comes and tells them all that the trial is over now. Everyone is shocked to hear this. The saint wants to ask something to the third great sage, and the third great sage tells them, "I have found a proper successor." So the saint is asking the third great sage, "Senior, could it be that the successor is among us 3? What about the patriarch? Is he dead?" And the Grand Elder says, "No, it's impossible. How could our patriarch be gone? And the second elder laughs and says, Nana Nana, I knew this would happen. How could a little brat of the Earth King realm get so lucky every time? And hearing this, the grand elder gets angry and angrily says, Old woman, just you wait. If our patriarch died because of you, I'll turn your tomb upside down thousands of times. And the Empress will grind your bones into dust and scatter them. And after listening to the grand elder, the third great sage says to him, Did I say he's dead? That boy is accepting my inheritance. And as they listen to the third great sage, they all get very shocked. And one man is saying, Aren't these holy sons the ones who received the inheritance? So the third great sage says, Of course not. And the saint says happily, Senior, does that mean the patriarch is still alive and has gotten your inheritance? And the grand elder is getting very happy and he is laughing and saying, I knew that our patriarch wouldn't die so easily. But the other elder is getting very angry and he is shouting, Senior, now that the successor has been found, shouldn't Senior let us go? And the third great sage says, None of you are allowed to leave until the boy completely comprehends the inheritance. Then another elder says, What if the kid needs 10 years and we all starve to death here? And hearing this, the third great sage gets very angry and she says, What about it? Don't forget who's the final say in this place. And the third great sage attacks those people and injures them. But the third great sage is thinking, he has already comprehended it in half an hour? And we see that some movement starts at that place. And Ning Tian starts coming out of that place. And his entire appearance has changed. And Ning Tian is saying thank you to the third great sage. And the third great sage goes to Ning Tian and says to him, You comprehended my inheritance in half an hour, although you're a step away from the Sky King realm. You did well. And we see a man who is saying, 9-star Earth King realm? He was only 4-star when he entered the tomb, and the saint says, in just a few hours he broke through 5 times. And another man is getting very angry, and he is thinking, not long has passed, and he's already behind me with only 1 star. His speed of cultivation and improvement is terrifying. And the grand elder is very happy. And the third great sage says, Since my inheritance was earned, I'll fulfill my promise. You can all get out of here alive. Right, boy, this ring contains all the tomb's treasures, it's yours now. And Ning Tian is very happy holding that ring and he thanks the third great sage. And as soon as they see that ring, everyone gets surprised. But they are very happy for Ning Tian. And some elders are thinking, this time, all righteous disciples were annihilated out of the hunt. He's growing too quickly, he may interrupt our plan in the future. He's growing too quickly, he may interrupt our plan in the future. This child must not be allowed to grow. Then an elder says, Senior, please keep the promise and let us go. And that elder is thinking, as long as we leave this damn place, Ning Tian will die with no proper burial. And the third great sage says to them, Right, the inheritance has been given, the remaining soul of this senior will not be able to hold for much longer. Then this tomb will rest underground forever, go. And Ning Tian says thank you to the third great sage. But the third great sage is saying to Ning Tian, I feel uncomfortable with you suddenly being polite, boy. Yes, I have one more thing to ask. Can you take my bones back to Kai? I want to be buried with her. And the saint says to the third great sage, Senior, by her, are you referring to the great saintess Yao Xian? Between her and Senior. Then the third great sage starts remembering her past. And she is doing cultivation sitting under a waterfall. But then a girl comes to that place, who is saying to the third great sage, You came to the immortal spring to cultivate again. You work so hard, why don't I help you relax now? But the third great sage pushes her down and tells her, Don't cause trouble. The heavenly Tao is about to open the path towards becoming a god. Both of us have been stagnant in the immortal emperor realm for a long time. I must work hard to deserve it, walking down the path and then becoming a god. And the girl says to the third great sage, Don't worry. The path that you are working forward to, I'll accompany you. And in the present time the third great sage is saying, Later, there was bloodshed and many corpses on that path. After Yao Xian and I parted ways, we didn't see each other again. Then Ning Tian says to the third great sage, Senior, may I ask how Senior Yao Xian helped you relax? So the third great sage says, Boy, believe it or you stay here sure me forever. And Ning Tian laughingly says, I just wanted to lighten up the gloomy atmosphere. And the female elder says, Senior, please rest assured we'll fulfill the great emperor's last wish. And the third great sage says to Ning Tian, Boy, don't waste my inheritance. And Ning Tian says to the third great sage, Don't worry, Senior, I'll definitely make your skills famous in the whole domain. And now the third great sage starts leaving from this place, and her whole body starts disappearing from this place in the form of a spiritual power. Then she leaves this place, and the saint is saying to Ning Tian, Patriarch, since we promised to bring Senior back to Yaoqi, do you also wish to come with us? But Ning Tian is thinking, if I don't go home after I'm done here, my wife will definitely rip me to pieces. But it's the sage, and rejecting her like this would be a bit. And then the Grand Elder says to Ning Tian, Ahem, Patriarch, now that you have the inheritance, in order to prevent others from trying to steal it, it's better to return to the heavenly demonic sect as soon as possible. So Ning Tian says to the cylinder, Oh, yes, Grand Elder, you're right. Saint, I'm sorry, I'll definitely visit next time. But then an earthquake starts at that place, and we see that a stone falls on the third great sage, due to which she starts fainting. Then Ning Tian stops the third great sage at the same place, and says to her, Saint, you should stay here and protect the tomb. Grand Elder, let's go and check what's going on. And both of them start going outside, and as soon as they look ahead, a dragon is lying dead in front of them. Seeing which both of them are very surprised. And then another one comes to that place, who is laughing and saying, Ha ha ha, you're finally out, you bastard. And looking at those two elders, the Grand Elder is saying, Tianfeng, Jianmei, what are you doing? Do you wish to steal the inheritance? Then the other elder is attacking them and saying, We not only want your inheritance, but your life too. But the Grand Elder is also ready to fight with them. And he is taking out his aura, and is saying to both of them, Just the two of you. We'll have to see if I will let you. And as soon as they see the aura of both the Grand Elders, they understand that the Grand Elder is very powerful, and so one elder is saying, A peak celestial, close to the immortal Emperor realm, you're very strong indeed. And the other elder says, But your opponent isn't us. And then another man comes to that place, seeing whom the Grand Elder is very surprised, and he says, First Sword Sect's leader? Benevolent Sword? Then as soon as Benevolent hears his name, he gets angry and he gets ready to attack the Grand Elder. And he makes a dangerous attack on the Grand Elder. And we see that due to the attack of that man, the Grand Elder falls very far away and the Grand Elder gets injured. And Ning Tian is lifting the Grand Elder, and the Grand Elder is saying to Ning Tian, Patriarch, run! Has a true immortal emperor. Then Benevolent says, You're the heavenly demonic sect's patriarch? And Ning Tian is thinking, Damn it, such bad luck. I always stumble upon these strong immortal emperors. And Benevolent attacks Ning Tian and says, Ha, an Earth King realm trash. And both elders are getting very happy and they both are thinking, Ha ha ha, the brat's finally going to die. And Benevolent's attack is about to hit Ning Tian, and there is a huge explosion at that place. But when the smoke clears, we see that Ning Tian is safe, and he is saying, A second star immortal emperor realm couldn't kill a mere Earth King realm? Then Ning Tian says to the system, System, isn't my facial defense a bit too high? So the system tells Ning Tian, generally yes. But the host needs to pay attention to the fact that if any other part of the host's body but the face is attacked, it'll be slit up to pieces like tofu at the slightest touch. And Benevolent says to Ning Tian, I don't believe such a thing. A mere Earth King realm, I can't harm you. And Benevolent moves forward to attack Ning Tian, and Ning Tian is thinking, Damn it, you don't mean to tell me that I have to take this with my face, right? It's so fast, there's no way it. And Ning Tian creates a barrier around himself to stop Benevolent's attack. But his barrier is not very powerful, due to which the barrier breaks. And Ning Tian gets hurt and falls away. But again he tries to stand up, and the saint comes behind him. And Benevolent is thinking, he, a mere Earth King realm, was affected by the aftershock of my attack while standing so close, but he didn't sustain a heavy injury? And the system is saying to Ning Tian, You shocked the Benevolent sword, reward earned, teleportation card, short distance shift movement, one-time use. And Ningtian calls the third great sage using the card. And the third great sage becomes benevolent. She is saying to Benevolent, "How dare a mere quasi-emperor harm my heir?" And Benevolent says, "So it's the third great sage's tomb. But even if you're an emperor in your lifetime, what about it? You're dead now. How many moves can a mere spirit achieve? Watch out, I'll grind you to dust." And the third great sage says, "Ah, you crazy man, I'll kill you in a few moves. Boy, watch carefully. I'll show you for the last time the fist and palm skills. The palm must be strong enough to move through mountains and rivers. The palm must be strong enough to move through mountains and rivers." And as soon as Benevolent sees the third great sage's face, he gets very scared. And the third great sage attacks Benevolent, and to stop the third great sage's attack he has created a shield. But the third great sage's power is so high that his shield starts breaking and he thinks, "Damn it, is this the power of a great emperor? It's just a remnant spirit, but I still can't resist it." But then a man comes to that place and he is saying, "This type of showy move is representative of the Tao of the palm and Tao of the fist?" And an emperor comes to that place, who is seeing this. Benevolent calls him a leader. And the third great sage too is surprised to see that emperor. Then seeing that emperor, the saint too, is a little nervous. And Ningtian is saying, "I didn't expect to see that old man here." And the emperor gets ready to attack the third great sage, and he launches an attack. And the power of the emperor is very high, so the third great sage is having some problem, and the saint is saying in a panic, "No! We haven't brought the third great sage to Yaoqi yet." And the third great sage is saying, "Such a shame, in the end, I couldn't get buried next to her." And Ningtian very quickly moves forward to save the third great sage. And there is an explosion at that place. But Ningtian did not save the third great sage. And the third great sage thanks Ningtian. Then Ningtian says, "No worries, it's what I should do." And Ningtian is thinking, "Fortunately, the system gave me that teleportation card, but even if we all join forces, I'm afraid we can't beat this guy. What now?" And the emperor is thinking, "How can you save anyone from under my nose with such a low cultivation? There's something wrong with that kid." And then the system says to Ningtian, "You shocked the righteous emperor. Reward earned, Great Emperor Summoning Card. Great Emperor Summoning Card. You can summon an emperor, disregard special movement, one-time use." And Ningtian becomes happy on hearing this, and he is thinking, "Great Emperor Summoning Card? Right on time." Then Ningtian comes in front and says, "Senior Saint, leave this to me." And the emperor is saying to Ningtian, "You're just a mere Earth King realm. Do you have the courage to challenge me?" And Ningtian laughs and says, "When you're running away with your tail between your legs later, you'll see where this courage comes from." And Ningtian says to the system, "System, use the Great Emperor Summoning Card. Summoning Luo Wuqing, Queen Mother of the West." And the system says, "The Great Emperor Summoning Card has been used. Summoning Lud Wuqing, Queen Mother of the West." Summoned, and then there is a very dangerous light at that place, and seeing which both of them get surprised. And the third great sage is saying, "This is Great Emperor's aura, and it's two of them." And the saint says, "Weird, why is one of them so familiar, and the other? Queen Mother of the West?" And we see that the Queen Mother and Luo Wuqing have come to this place. And they both are shocked to see each other, and Luo Wuqing is saying to the Queen Mother, "Just now, I was forcibly pulled into a void." And the Queen Mother says, "Me too, I was going to shower." The Emperor is very shocked to see them both, and he is thinking, what trick did that brat use to summon both of them in an instant? And then Luo Wuqing notices something and asks Ningtian, "Who harmed you?" Then Ningtian points his finger towards the Emperor and says, "Wife, it's that guy who's bullying the weak." And the Emperor also gets angry on hearing this. But Luo Wuqing gets very angry and she says, "Righteous Emperor, as an emperor, isn't it a bit inappropriate to attack an Earth King realm?" And the Emperor says, "Queen Mother of the West, your Yaoqi is known to be neutral. You have never involved yourself in conflicts. Are you picking sides now?" And the Queen Mother says, "I advise you to think about apologizing first." Then the Emperor says, "What? I am a great emperor, the leader of the Righteous Alliance." And the Emperor feels something, and we see that a very dangerous aura is coming out from Luo Wuqing, and she is saying to the Emperor, "No matter who you are, if you hurt my husband, I will end you. Righteous Emperor, do you really think you can provoke my heavenly demonic sect with the power of your little righteous alliance?" And after listening to Luo Wuqing, the Emperor gets scared and he says, "An immortal weapon? Luo Wuqing, think this through carefully. We're both emperors. If we fight, the whole mountain chain will be left in shambles." But Luo Wuqing does not care about the Emperor's words. She directly moves forward to attack the Emperor. And then Ning Tian gets very surprised and he says her Tao of the sword has reached sagehood, and the third great sage says, "Boy, watch their fight carefully. You don't see two emperors fighting every day, your wife is a strong opponent." And Ning Tian is thinking, Luo Wuqing has never used such a strong attack in front of me before, my wife has truly been hiding her talent. And Luo Wuqing attacks the Emperor. And the Emperor is also trying to stop Luo Wuqing's attack. But we see that a very dangerous energy starts getting generated at that place, which is very dangerous for these people. And then the Queen Mother comes forward very fast, and she plays the flute, and due to its music some movement starts happening at that place. And she is saying, "Looks like your dear wife is really angry. Luo Wuqing, make sure to not hurt your dear husband with your might. Stop being so noisy, you also have a purpose to be here." But Luo Wuqing says, "Protect him, I won't be holding back." And Luo Wuqing starts attacking the Emperor continuously, and seeing this Ning Tian is thinking, "One day, I'll be as strong as you. Or even stronger." And Luo Wuqing defeats the Emperor very easily, and the Emperor while vomiting blood says to Luo Wuqing, "Luo Wuqing, you'll regret making an enemy of my righteous alliance over a mere brat." And Ning Tian says from behind, "My wife is the winner." And Luo Wuqing says, "But he's always been someone who's afraid of death, I guess that he might not even be here in person. It's a mere shadow of a great emperor who shouldn't dare overstep his bounds." And the people of the Emperor are very scared, and they are running, and they are saying, "The Empress is too strong." The righteous Emperor was actually, and benevolent wants to run away from this place as soon as possible. And they are running away, but how could Luo Wuqing let them go so easily? So she attacks them and kills them too. Then she comes to Ning Tian, and while loving him says, "How are you feeling?" So Ning Tian says to Luo Wuqing, "I'm okay now, Thick, you're so kind to me." And seeing the love between these two, the Queen Mother is surprised, and she is saying, "Ahem, you two should stop with the public displays of affection. Patriarch, I was just about to take a bath when I was dragged here. Was it you who did it?" And as soon as Ning Tian hears this, he is very surprised, and the Queen Mother further says to him, "Yes, if I was already in the bath, what would have happened then? You must explain yourself properly." But Ning Tian is not able to answer any of the Queen Mother's words. And he is thinking, "Can't tell them I had a great emperor summoning card, right?" Then Luo Wuqing says, "Ning Tian has his own ways. Let's put this aside and not speak of it anymore." And Ning Tian says to Luo Wuqing, "Thank you for helping me out, wife." And the Queen Mother is thinking, he's getting more and more mysterious. Then we see the third great sage, whose condition is getting worse, and she is very injured, due to which the saint is getting worried and she is saying, "Senior, what's happening?" So the third great sage says, "I'm just a remnant spirit, my fate has been sealed." Then the saint said to the Queen Mother of the West, "The third great sage wished to be buried next to great Saintess Yao Xian. Let's take her back quickly." Then the Queen Mother says, "We're far away from Yao Qi, and Senior wouldn't be able to hang on with these injuries." And now the third great sage starts leaving from this place, and while leaving she is saying, "It's okay. Reaching the skies and meeting Yao Xian earlier isn't so bad. Patriarch." And Ning Tian says to the third great sage, "Don't worry, Senior. I won't let your legacy be forgotten." And then the third great sage disappears after thanking Ning Tian. And Ning Tian is thinking, "I'll become someone who can fight on equal terms with an emperor." On the other side, the heavenly spiritual domain Zhongzhou. Righteous Alliance hidden chamber. We see the emperor, who is vomiting blood. And he is not dead yet, and he is saying, "Luo Wuring, because of that damn husband of hers. She actually destroyed my strongest shadow clone. And Yao Qi, they dare to help the heavenly demonic sect. They don't take us seriously. But then a man says to the emperor, "You're so angry, did I call at the wrong time?" And the emperor says, "Void God? When did you come out of seclusion?" Yaoqi's Queen Mother of the West has gotten close with the heavenly demonic sect lately. If they cooperate, wouldn't our plan fail? So the man says, "Don't worry about it. I have started to faintly reach upon the border of the next realm." And the emperor gets surprised and says, "No way. You don't have guidance towards the path to become a god, and you haven't joined the battle of the god's throne. How did you reach upon the god realm?" So the man tells, "Although I'm no true god, I'm one tier stronger than a great emperor. I call it the false god. Just wait, Yaoqi, the heavenly demonic sect, and that damned patriarch will all crumble dead under my feet." Heavenly demonic sect. Half a month later. And Ning Tian and Luo Wuqing are in their room, and Luo Wuqing is saying to Ning Tian, "Your injuries are almost healed." And Ning Tian says to Luo Wuqing, "Wife, you care so much for your husband. How should this husband repay you?" And Ning Tian makes Luo Wuqing lie down on the bed and comes on top of her, and Luo Wuqing is saying to Ning Tian, "Such a smooth talker, didn't you say earlier that the third great sage left you a storage ring?" And Ning Tian says, "Yes, she told me all of her treasures are in it. I wonder what good stuff lay in there." And Luo Wuqing says, "You'd better be mentally prepared for that." And Ning Tian says, "What do you mean?" And then a very bright light starts coming out of the ring, seeing which both of them are very surprised. And some kind of energy starts coming out from inside it, which starts going inside Ning Tian. And Ning Tian is very surprised. What kind of storage ring is this? And what is inside it? And he is saying, "Is that within the storage ring? It's completely empty. Did that old woman cheat me?" And then a treasure chest comes in front of Ning Tian, and Ning Tian starts moving forward, and he is saying, "The treasures must be within this big treasure chest." And when Ning Tian opens that treasure chest, there is another treasure chest inside it, and Ning Tian is completely shocked to see this, but he wants to see what is inside it. Then as soon as he opens that treasure chest, there is another treasure chest inside it. And in the same way, while opening the treasure chest, Ning Tian finds a small treasure chest, seeing which Ning Tian becomes very frustrated, and he is saying that Senior put them like matryoshka dolls. And Ning Tian opens that small treasure chest, and as soon as Ning Tian opens the treasure chest, third great sage comes out from inside it, and she is laughing, seeing which Ning Tian is shocked even more. And the third great sage is saying to Ning Tian, "Youngsters shouldn't be greedy. The most precious treasure in my tomb is my inheritance, whatever, as this elder's final act of affection for the younger generation." And the third great sage gives Ning Tian a scroll, and Ning Tian takes it and holds it in his hands. As soon as he holds that scroll in his hands, a lot of energy starts coming out from inside him, and Luo Wuqing is watching this carefully, and Luo Wuqing is asking Ning Tian, "How was it?" So Ning Tian says, "Wife, did you know that there is nothing inside the storage ring?" And Luo Wuqing says, "It said that the third great sage was not only the poorest emperor, but also very stingy. If you wish to find gold, silver, treasures, magic weapons or skills, you are doomed to be disappointed instead." And Ning Tian, looking at the scroll, says, "It's only one parchment scroll." And Luo Wuqing starts opening the scroll, and she is saying, "I didn't expect the third great sage to leave behind such a good thing. If the written prescription is made into a pill, it should be able to aid you into reaching the middle stage of the minor success in your physique." And Ning Tian says, "It can actually nourish my physique?" And Luo Wuqing is looking at the scroll after opening it, and she is saying, "The heavenly demonic sect has all the ingredients that are listed, but the Thunder Heart fruit and the 9 Phoenix Ice grass. I'll have to look for them from somewhere farther away." And Ning Tian is thinking, "I can't always rely on my wife's power. I need to grow strong quickly." And Ning Tian says to Luo Wuqing, "You don't have to worry about finding them for me, dear wife." And Luo Wuqing says, "But if you get my help, you'll get it done sooner." But Ning Tian says, "Our sect is currently at the center of a controversy. If we cause a dispute trying to find the ingredients, it will attach attention to us. If I can do it, I wouldn't bother you with it." And Luo Wuqing is thinking, "This guy seems to have become more reasonable." And Ning Tian says to Luo Wuqing, but I am still not sure about the details of the prescription. How about my wife accompanying me to study it carefully again together? And Luo Wuqing says to Ning Tian, So, we'll study the prescription? Ah, you hothead. And Ning Tian again makes Luo Wuqing lie on the bed and comes on top of her. Then they both enjoy the whole night. Next morning Ning Tian gets ready and comes out of his room, and he is very happy because he has enjoyed the whole night. And he is thinking, we should arrange more such activities in the future, he. My wife was quite happy about the prescription study last night. Now, I have mastered the Tao of music, the sword and the palm. The only thing I haven't mastered is the Tao of the fist. I will go to the depository for help. Then we see a man, who is standing at a place, and then he notices something and he looks back. Ning Tian has come there. And he greets Ning Tian after seeing him. But then he notices something, which shocks him a lot, and he is thinking, in just a few months, the patriarch has reached the 9-star Earth King realm. And then the system says to Ning Tian, you shocked Elder Gu Han, reward function earned, martial art restoration. Martial art restoration. Incomplete martial arts can be fixed through comprehension. And Ning Tian gets surprised when he gets a reward from the system. Then Elder Gu Han is saying to Ning Tian, which floor is the patriarch going to this time? So Ning Tian tells Elder Gu Han that he has to go to the 5th floor, and Elder Gu Han is saying, quickly move all the martial arts skills from the 1st to 4th floors. And Ning Tian says to Elder Gu Han, I'm just practicing martial arts. Why do you need to act like a crisis is going to happen? Not like I am going to wreck everything, right? And Elder Gu Han says, Patriarch, please forgive me. I'm just trying to be on the safe side. Please enter. Then Ning Tian goes inside, and while going he is saying, Demon God Fist, Rock Fist, to bring out the intimidating and violent fist of the 3rd great sage, I have to find a skill book that matches it. Intermediate Earth rank, Tyrant Flame Fist? And then Ning Tian sees some scroll, from inside which golden-colored aura is coming out, and the system is telling Ning Tian, it has been detected that Tyrant Flame Fist is incomplete, it can be completely restored by the host's Tao of the First. Does the host wish to restore it? And Ning Tian takes the scroll in his hands and is very happy to see it, and he is saying, unparalleled dominance, a divine flame burning. It's you! Restore it! And the system says, restoring? Restoration successful. Tenfold comprehension of the complete version of Tyrant Flame Fist. New fist skill. Tyrant Flame Fist comprehension is successful. And then there is a blast at that place, which can be seen from outside. And all the people were looking at it, and they were very shocked. And Elder Gu Han also comes out and sees, he is also shocked, and he is saying, who? Fortunately this time the patriarch only shook the building without destroying it. Look! There's fire coming from the 5th floor. And then a very bright light starts going towards the sky from that place, seeing which Elder Gu Han is saying, no, this is not fire, that aura is. The Tyrant Flame Fist? Wait, how did the patriarch learn that skill? Remember that it's incomplete. And the system says to Ning Tian, you shocked Elder Gu Yen and Elder Gu Han, reward earned, sunlight aura absorption. Does the host wish for the sunlight aura to be used for the divine flame of the Tyrant Flame Fist? Yes or no? And Ning Tian is thinking, the Tyrant Flame Fist requires the combination of domineering Qi and divine flame aura to reach its full might. What would be the effect if the powerful sunlight aura was used as the divine flame source for the Tyrant Flame Fist? Absorption of sunlight aura. And a bright light starts coming from the sky, and Ning Tian starts absorbing the sunlight aura. And everyone is surprised to see this. And Elder Gu Han is saying, heavens, is the patriarch ascending? Holy sunlight is coming down. The patriarch is actually the aura of the sunlight to cultivate? And Ning Tian gets a spiritual body, and the girls are getting very happy, and those girls are saying, look! The patriarch's clothes are in flames. Wow! His 8-pack abs are perfect. I really want to lay on them. And a man says, the flame is getting stronger and stronger. I hope the patriarch is okay. And the girl says, it's the patriarch, how could he not be okay? And Elder Gu Han is thinking, The sun and moon's aura is not comparable to ordinary aura. It's very difficult to absorb and use it for your own benefit. There's also a chance it might backfire. Even if the patriarch is mighty, he's still an Earth King realm cultivator, and Ningtian is still absorbing the sunlight aura from you. And then Luo Wuqing comes to that place, and seeing Luo Wuqing, Elder Gu Han greets Luo Wuqing, and he is thinking, the Empress is here, the patriarch and the repository should be safe. And Ningtian's spiritual body becomes very big, and seeing this everyone is surprised. And Luo Wuqing is also seeing this thing, and she is saying, yes, it's the great Tao's body. And Elder Gu Han is saying, it's said that it will only appear when the great Tao evolves to its limits. Could it be that the patriarch has already comprehended the tyrant flame fist to its limits? And Luo Wuqing says, Ningtian has not yet comprehended it, he's pursuing it. And the system is speaking to Ningtian, deduction of the great dad. When deducing the great Tao, the host can form the great Tao's body, which can elevate the host's mastery to its limits. Cultivation, the third great sage's skills, starting the deducing of the Tao of the fist. Cultivation, the third great sage's skills, starting the deducing of the Tao of the fist, and then a lot of aura starts coming out of Ningtian, seeing which Elder Gu Han gets very shocked, and he is saying, heavens, what's the patriarch trying to do? The repository can't be saved? And Luo Wuqing tells them to keep calm, and she uses her power, by which she takes out many treasures, and she is saying, Elder Gu Han, please keep these skills safe and inform the disciples of each hall to watch out. He's at the deduction stage and cannot be disturbed, let alone interrupted, otherwise all his previous work might go to waste. And Ningtian starts testing his power. How big is his power? And he starts training in this way. And everyone is shocked to see this, and Elder Gu Han is saying, Heavenly Demonic Hall, Sword Hall, Flame Hall, Blade Hall. They all collapsed. The patriarch is indeed a building destruction demon. And Luo Wuqing is saying happily, we can just tear it down and rebuild it. Ningtian is currently developing his martial arts. That includes the Tao of the fist and music. Why don't you comprehend them too? And a man says, thank you, Empress, for the enlightenment. And Luo Wuqing says, don't worry your mind, his Tao of the fist is extraordinary. If you can pass through the Tao of the fist to the Tao of music, it would be a fortune. After a stick of incense. And Ningtian is saying, unparalleled dominance, a divine flame burning, sweeping flames, peerless divine. And the system says, deduction of the Tao of the first is complete. Great Tao's body is dissipating. And Ningtian says, finally the domineering chi and the divine flame of the tyrant flame fist are combined. And the system says, you shocked everyone in the heavenly demonic sect, immortal weapon earned, meteorite gloves. Meteorite gloves, upon wearing, they become invisible, making it seem as if they are not there. Meteorite gloves are equipped. And Ningtian gets happy and he says, good, they are an exclusive fist set and an immortal weapon. My punching power has increased a lot. And Luo Wuqing says to Ningtian, how do you feel? So Ningtian says, I'm fine, but I feel like I haven't deduced enough. This wasn't done by me once again, right? And Luo Wuqing says, it doesn't matter, as a member of the sect, your cultivation is more important. And Elder Gu Han is thinking, Empress, you're spoiling him. And then a man comes to that place and he says, it's odd. Who could make such a big fuss in the heavenly demonic sect when the Empress is present? Greeting the Empress, the Tianbao Holy Land invites Patriarch Ningtian to Shenzhou City to attend the annual Tianbao auction. And Ningtian says, auction, why would you invite me? Heavenly demonic sect Whispering Rain Tower. And Luo Wuqing is saying, forgive us for the unfortunate timing, Holy Son of Tianbao, the heavenly demonic sect is going through reconstruction right now. And you've come to discuss the matters of the Tianbao auction. And Holy Sun says, it's okay, Empress. I'm sure the Empress knows best. And Ningtian says, when is that Tianbao auction you mentioned? So Holy Sun says, it's the largest auction in the entire domain, held by our Tianbao Holy Land. All the thesaurus of the domain are auctioned there, so it's worth the visit. And Ningtian says, I see. I can understand why the Tianbao Holy Land would invite our sect. But why would you invite me especially? And Holy Sun says, of course, it's because of the patriarch's fame. After the battle at the great emperor's tomb, my admiration for the patriarch has been immeasurable as well. Therefore, I begged the master again and again to let me come visit. I want to make my sincerity clear. And Ningtian says, stop with the flattery and speak seriously. And Holy Sun says, Patriarch, you're so ruthless. I was being honest. The Holy Lord sent me over, and the first comrade in my mind to come with me was you. I heard that the girls in Shenzhou City are all so pretty, and the Patriarch is a charmer. If I'm with you, I will find someone for myself soon, hee hee. And Luo Wuqing says the Tianbao auction has always been known for its top-tier treasures. You can try your luck there, maybe you can find the herbs you need. And Ningtian says, since my dear wife thinks so highly of this auction, I should go and see it for myself. And Luo Wuqing says, although the relationship between the Supreme Divine Kingdom and the Heavenly Demonic Sect isn't ideal, they wouldn't attack you. But just to be sure. And Luo Wuqing is staring at Ningtian. Then she grabs Ningtian's collar and beats him up. She kisses him. And seeing this, Holy Sun gets very shocked and he says, damn. Is this something I should see? And when Luo Wuqing kisses him, a bright light comes out. Then she says to Ningtian, I have planted a formation in your body. It will block an attack for you in a critical moment. And I will also be informed. There are some spirit coins within the ring, so don't have to worry about not having enough money. And this ice silkworm mask? Wearing it will change your looks and hide your original aura, so you don't have to worry about exposing your identity. Ningtian applies the mask and his appearance changes. And Ningtian's face is glowing, and as soon as Holy Sun sees Ningtian's face, he gets shocked, and says, Patriarch, the way you look is. And Ningtian says, what is it? And as soon as Ningtian sees his face in the mirror, he gets very shocked, and he is saying to Luo Wuqing, wife, do I have to wear this mask? After all, I'm a member of the Heavenly Demonic Sect. I can't tarnish our image. And Luo Wuqing says, when you wear it, no one will know you're the Patriarch of the Heavenly Demonic Sect. That will keep you safe. Or are you trying to hook up with some pretty girl in Shenzhou? And Ningtian gets very scared hearing Luo Wuqing's angry voice, and he refuses. Then he goes to Luo Wuqing and holds her waist. And says to her, my dear wife, you gave me this mask because you're jealous, right? And Luo Wuqing says, who is jealous? And Ningtian says, I'm just afraid that your emperor's attractive physique will cause trouble again. And Holy Sun is very surprised to see the romance between these two, and he is thinking, I was hoping to finally get a woman with his charm, but now he's not even as handsome as me. I shouldn't have come. After this the scene shifts. And we see another place. And Ningtian is saying to Holy Sun, your shadow wind horses are great. It only took us half a day to reach Shenzhou City. And Holy Sun says, don't underestimate them just because they are a second-level monster, they can travel for thousands of miles a day. They are the treasure of our Tianbao Holy Land. Then we see some people who are very happy and are saying, hey, did you hear? The Thunder Wind 9-step terrace is open again. And Ningtian is asking a man, excuse me, what's the Thunder Wind 9-step terrace? And the man says, you don't know about it? Are you an outsider? Legend says that the Thunder Wind 9-step terrace contains the most mystic divine thunder Dao among the 3,000 great Daos. Although there are only 9 steps, a few have been able to reach the top. If you reach the 8th step, you will get the chance to dine with the princess. And as soon as Holy Sun hears that man's words, he becomes very happy, and he is saying, the princess? Do you mean Princess Yueling, one of the 3 great beauties of Shenzhou? And that man says, exactly, it's her. Then Holy Sun starts running very fast, and he is saying, Patriarch, let's go quickly, no time to waste. And Ningtian says to Holy Sun, shouldn't we find a place to stay first? Then Holy Sun ties the rope of his horse to a peg. And he is saying, where can we find a better place than with the princess? No, not as important as the divine thunder Dao. Let's go, we should join the rush. And Holy Sun starts going forward with Ningtian. And both of them have made the horse stand at the same place. Then we see a girl, who is saying, Tianbao Holy Land sent a horse from 1,000 Then the scene shifts to Supreme Divine Kingdom. And many people gather at this place, and there are many soldiers too. And Ning Tian is saying after seeing this place, there are so many soldiers guarding the square. This city's security is very tight. And Holy Sun says, after all, the Supreme Divine Kingdom is the heart of the heavenly spiritual domain, and this city is under the Supreme Divine Kingdom's rule. And Ning Tian says, is the Supreme Divine Kingdom that powerful? And Holy Sun says, of course, compared to them, the Eastern Kingdom is just third-rate at best. Like the heavenly demonic sect that is located in Shizhou, each major sect has its own region where they rule as they wish. Shenzhou City is also full of sects, but behind these forces there are officials that interfere. Even great emperors have to rely on the power of the nation, so cultivators have to be more cautious here. Then we see a girl, and it is a princess, and her name is Yueling, and she is saying, the Thunder Wind 9-step terrace is open again. I hope everyone tries their best to reach the top. And everyone becomes very happy after seeing Yueling, and they are saying, it's Princess Yueling. She's truly worthy of being called one of the 3 greatest beauties. Even her voice is heavenly music. If I get to have dinner with the princess and see her true face, I would die with no regrets. And Ning Tian says then, why don't you just reach the 8th step? And a man says to Ning Tian, you think that's that easy to climb the Thunder Wind 9-step terrace? With each step, it gets twice as hard, it's like climbing to the sky. And the other man says, but due to the Tianbao auction, many powerful outsiders have been appearing recently. Maybe someone might be able to do it. And Yueling is saying, I wonder which fellow cultivator would like to try first? And then a man comes in front, and he is saying, I'm Shugayu, and I'm willing to try. And seeing this man all the girls are getting happy and they are saying, "'Tis the Xiaoyao Holy Land's holy, young Master Zhuge. I love you. So handsome. Is there any man in this world more handsome than the young Master Zhuge?" And Holy Sun is saying, "These women have not seen the world, Patriarch, take off your mask quickly. Show them the truth. But tell Ning Tian, lower your voice." And Yueling says, "Holy Son of Xiaoyao, please move forward." And Zhuge says, "I have long heard of the fame of Shenzhou City's Thunder Wind 9-step terrace. Today, I shall experience its power myself." Then Zhuge takes his first step forward, and seeing this Holy Sun is saying, although the 9 steps of bluestone look simple, the power within them is the divine thunder Tao. Ignorance is bliss indeed. Someone can get blown to pieces if they are not careful while stepping on this terrace. And Ning Tian says, "How do you know so much?" And Holy Sun laughs and says, "I have actually tried it before. I just stepped on the 7th step, and as I was about to step on the 8th, the power of the thunder in the bluestone suddenly increased several times. Fortunately, I had a life-saving magic treasure to save myself. Only because of that did I escape being struck by the thunder and dying on the spot. I never want to experience this tingling feeling again." And a girl says, "Look, young Master Zhuge has already stepped on the 7th step." And the other girl says, "Young Master Zhuge is at the Immortal Emperor realm. He will definitely be able to reach the 9th step." Another girl says, "You can do it, young Master Zhuge." And Zhuge is thinking, every time I climb a step, I can feel the pressure rising. There is indeed something special about this Thunder Wind 9-step terrace. And then an old lady comes to Yueling, and she says to Yueling, "Princess, maybe this Zhuge you can." And Yueling says, "Do you think so?" Then we see Zhuge, who is tired. Then he says, "I'm not talented enough to continue. I'm sorry to disappoint the princess." And Yueling says, "It doesn't matter, Holy Son of Xiaoyao, you're already strong. It's a pity though." And Ning Tian says, interestingly, "I want to give it a try." And Holy Sun says, "Patriarch, please don't be too cocky. Zhuge Yu is an immortal emperor. If anything happens to you, how can I explain it to the Empress?" Then Yueling says, "Are there any fellow cultivators who would dare try?" So Ning Tian comes forward and says that I want to try. And looking at Ning Tian, a girl says, "Who is that guy?" And a man says, "I don't know. He looks average, but he dares to try to challenge the Thunder Wind 9-step terrace?" And another girl says, "He doesn't look that good, totally incomparable to the Holy Son of Xiaoyao." And Yueling is asking Ning Tian, "May I ask who you are?" So in reply to that, Holy Sun says, "This is the handsome young Master Ning. My good friend." And everyone gets very shocked hearing this, and the girls are saying, "How dare you brag when he doesn't look handsome at all?" And one man says, "But he's a good friend of the Holy Son of Tianbao, he must be strong." And the other man says, "So what? Didn't the Holy Son of Tianbao get electrocuted, burned on the outside and tender on the inside, when he tried it?" And Yueling says, "Holy Son of Tianbao, long time no see. It looks like you're doing well." And Holy Sun says to Yueling, "I am going okay." And Yueling says to Ning Tian, "Since you're the Holy Son of Tianbao's friend, you can come forward and try." And Ning Tian starts moving forward, and he is thinking, "This divine thunder Tao, I must get it." Then he takes his first step, then he feels a lot of pressure, and he is thinking, "Why do I feel like I can't move anymore from the moment I step onto the stairs?" And looking at Ning Tian, people are saying, "What happened? He's not moving? The pressure of the first step is very weak, could it be that he can't even pass that?" And listening to their words, Holy Sun is saying to those people, "What do you know? My friend won't stop at the first step." And then the system tells Ning Tian, "Host, the Thunder Wind 9-step terrace has a contrary effect on people with the godly physique." And Ning Tian is thinking, "On the contrary, doesn't that mean my first step is the 9th step?"